Yo, welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Galar Cup, and let's try out this team here. We're going to be trying out the Shadow Ninetales paired with the Diggersby and the Mandibuzz in the back. So not a great matchup here. We're going to switch out into the Mandibuzz to see what they have in the back. We're going to tank the first move. Play rough does get revealed, so that is not the best. We were hoping that they were going to possibly bait. We are going to be able to get to a couple of arrow aces. Unfortunately, this Malwall is kind of a core breaker. So at this point here, we're going to have to come back in here with the Diggersby and hope for the best. We know that they have the play rough, and we are going to tank that move. We are going to fire off this Scorching Sand right before they get to their move. So we're going to switch out into the Ninetales. They counter swap into the Golisopod. So this has gone from bad to worse. Unfortunately, the Malwall kind of have a core breaker for the team. We're going to fire off this move here. Let's see if we get a shield. We do grab a shield at least. Our opponent is going to be able to build some energy. Fire off the move. We're going to have to shield it. Liquidation does get revealed. We're going to throw another Weather Ball bait here because we need to get these shields down. Okay, perfect. Our opponent here does elect to switch out into their Dripplum. And unfortunately, this is not a great matchup either. We are not running the Fire Punch version. All of our moves are resisted, so they are just going to be able to farm us down at that point. We were hoping that we could get this low enough for a one-hit KO for our Ninetales, but unfortunately not low enough, and that is GG's right there. So we'll play by my opponent. Just a little bit of tough team comp right there. Unable to wiggle out of that situation. Malwall, kind of a spice pick. Okay, we got the Shadow Ninetales versus the Lapras, and both of us are just staying in for now. We're going to fire off a Side Shock. We're going to be able to get that neutral damage to go off. But now they know we have Side Shock. Our opponent does elect to go for the Surf. Here, we know the Side Shock is only neutral, so they're going to be able to survive it. We're going to switch out into the Diggersby here because we want to soak up the energy, but also look for a potential farm down after shielding once. So we do get the farm down, and that's fantastic. We see that they're going to bring in their Claydol. Claydol here is going to be interesting because they're going to try to get the farm down, but before that, we are going to fire off a ton of moves. 2 Scorching Sands gets it into the low red. We're going to fire off another Scorching Sand, and then we finally grab a shield. Rapidash in the bag is awful. We are going to have to think about trying to preserve the health of this Mandibuzz. You can see right there, the Rapidash does learn the Wild Charge. We're going to fire off the Arrow Ace, grab that last shield. We're going to shield here because there's going to be another Wild Charge. And now we know that their double debuff, firing off this Dark Pulse easily takes it out. We're going to go back into the Ninetales here to force out some energy. And then we're going to see if we can get to this move. So we do get to this Arrow Ace, and we do take out the Claydol. So GG's to our opponent, able to wiggle out of that situation. Kind of an interesting team they had using Claydol in the Galar Cup. I haven't seen too many. Okay, next game, we got the Shadow Ninetales versus the Dripplum. Okay, so Dripplum here is going to get switched out into the Drapion. Drapion here is going to be able to fire off these Aquatoes quickly. We're going to go for this Arrow Ace, and we're going to try to outbulk them here. Our opponent does elect to go for another Aquatone. Okay, our opponent does get to another move here. We're going to have to shield once, and let's see if we can get to both of these Arrow Aces. One Arrow Ace does get used again. Our opponent does elect to go for the Aquatone immediately. Gets us into the red. Doesn't quite KO. We're going to fire out this Arrow Ace. It does get let go. And then our opponent here does go into their Dripplum. And oh wow. So they have their Ninetales of their own. We're going to go for this Weather Ball bait here. We do grab that shield. Our opponent here is going to throw a move. Ends up being the Side Shock. So they're running the same moves that we're running. We're going to fire off the Side Shock here. And it does grab that last shield. So now they know that we're also running Side Shock. We're going to fire off another Side Shock here, doing some good neutral damage. Here, the opponent does elect to go for a move here to take us out, and now we can come back in with the Diggersby. Diggersby is going to have to tank one of these weather balls, trying to get the farm down, but unfortunately they are going to switch out into the Driploom, and now we are in a tough spot. The Driploom here is going to resist all the moves from this Diggersby. Icy Wind does get used. We're going to try our best to get to a move. Oh, unfortunately unable to get to that move. And they're able to farm us down right there. So GG's to our opponent, unable to win that game right there. I guess in hindsight, we could have gone Diggersby into their Drapion for a better matchup there. Here we go. We got the Ninetales, terrible lead. We're going to switch out into the Diggersby. They're going to fire off a Weather Ball. They're staying in for now. We're going to fire off this Scorching Hand to grab a shield. The opponent does switch out into the Quagsire, so Quagsire is going to be able to get to this move quite quickly. We actually invested a shield here just to get this move off. Our opponent does let it go. Hyper Beam doing a huge amount of damage. We're going to be able to farm down afterwards, and now we are in a great spot because we can throw this Scorching Sand again, and this is going to get the shield from this Ninetales, or it's going to get the KO. They decide to shield it up, and now we have no choice but to go into the Mandibuzz. We tank the Weather Ball. How many Weather Balls are they going to be able to get to? Second Weather Ball does get used. They switch out into the Gastro, and let's see if we're going to be able to recover from here. We do have a shield to use. We decided to use it right there. They go for the Body Slam. We're going to go and fire off this Weather Ball here. We think 2 Weather Balls is enough to take out this Gastro, I think. Yes, it is. So that's good news for us. And now it comes down to a race. Can we get to a move before they take us out? They decide to throw a move, going for that Weather Ball. They have 2 Weather Ball energy. That one doesn't quite KO, and that's going to allow us to get to this Aero Ace here for the KO. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game against the Kanto Ninetales in the back. So far, I would say seeing a lot more fire types, but we are able to wiggle out of some of the situations. Our opponent here does use the Weezing. Weezing here is going to be interesting. We're going to shield once here. It could be Overheat or Play Rough. They decide to go for and switch out into the Drapion. We're going to fire off our Diggersby in this situation. Diggersby is going to be able to threaten KO with the Scorching Sand while tanking all of these moves. We're going to fire off this Scorching Sand right before they get to their next Aqua Tail. They decide to shield us up. We unfortunately don't get the debuff. We're going to shield right here. Our opponent does try to catch the move, but we were aware of that. We're going to use our Ninetales here to face their Mandibuzz. This Mandibuzz is going to struggle to take out this Ninetales because we had a good amount of energy. 2 Weather Balls gets it into the low red. Alright, sorry about that. We did win the game, just to let y'all know. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.